Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. So, few thoughts. And I watch a lot of other videos, follow several hundred people. Um, One of the, I've mentioned before, very best YouTubers out there is Cody Crone, Wrangler Star. And another favorite homesteader is Pure Living for Life, Jesse and Alyssa. I suggest you watch their videos. They're actually building a house and building a homestead from scratch, bare land, and that'll give you an idea of the amount of work, the amount of money. They're keeping track of their finances and doing a bang-up job of putting together a homestead. So from the ground up, basically what we did here, what Bill did here over a period of 10 years. So. But they, on the other hand, are building their home from recycled material. They're building everything from recycled material, doing it on the cheap. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay. Um, Another thing that I've been doing is, working with Aircrete, as I've said. And I really believe Aircrete is the future of housing. It is in many other countries, and it's been used for decades. Concrete buildings, they don't burn down, they don't go away in a tornado, they don't go away in a hurricane, especially a dome-shaped structure. And on the YouTube channel Black Dragon Rising, there's a video called Aircrete Domes, and it's by Kajar Gabran, who I mentioned, Dome Gaia. And in the comment section, it's not, you got to understand, it's not Kajar Gabran's channel, so people are asking questions assuming that they're going to get answers from him. Well, it's not his channel, so he's not answering any questions. He hasn't written on there at all. I don't know why. However, I've been writing on there, answering questions, and a guy named Mark Soares, Soares, Mark Soares, built an Aircrete house, a dome, in Florida. I think he said he's built one in Canada. And what he did, and I still am not quite sure, I would love to get pictures or just maybe a little bit better description of the process, but he built a geodesic dome, and as far as I understand, he built a frame. He says he used 1/4-inch plywood, which is strong enough to hold Aircrete, since Aircrete's very light, and then he poured it a little bit at a time and filled it up. I'm still not sure if he built 1/4-inch plywood on the inside. He says on the inside because that was strong enough to hold it, and then maybe he cut panels out of plywood on the outside. I don't know what he sheathed it with. I don't know if he shingled it, or I don't know. Anyway, but basically what it came down to was that he looked at his life savings and he went to try to qualify for a mortgage, and pardon his language, pardon his French, but he said, fuck the bank. And he said to his wife, let me build us a house. So he did. He bought land, designed a house, built it all by himself, contracted for like plumbing probably and electrical. Had to meet code. But he said it's beautiful. They love it. It's a 30 or 35-foot dome with another dome for a garage. It's all Aircrete. And he said he can build a home for $20,000. So he wants to go into production, have a manufacturing plant, production plant up in about a year. So I'm not clear on if he's going to prefab or build on site. I understand he wants to make money doing it, and that's a good thing. I talked to him about open source technology. He's concerned about being opposed by the powers that be, and I fully understand that. He said, I'm not trying to scare you, and I'm like, you're not scaring me. I know we're up against a big, huge amount of varied levels of opposition. But what he did, anybody can do. So he took about, well, his life savings, whatever, $25,000 or however much, bought land and built a home for themselves. So anyway, that's a huge thing, and that's what I've encouraged people to do in my book, to get rid of a mortgage. Mortgage is like mortuary. Gage is a French word for pledge. It's a death pledge. You know, you're betting that you pay it off before you die. In a lot of cases, people don't quite come up with the capability of doing that, and they die before they pay off their death pledge. And then the banks and the insurance company and the real estate and all the other powers that be take the property from their rightful heirs, their children, and the passing on of wealth, and play the whole game over again. They take that home and they sell it to somebody else for a huge mortgage, probably 5 to 10 times what it originally was worth or originally was valued at. And the price goes up, and the game goes on, and the game goes on, and the game goes on, and it never stops. You can stop that game by not participating in that game and build your own home. So read Walden 2, Walden Pond, you know, David Henry Thoreau, whatever the heck, and look it up, read it, and go for it, you know. Like Nike says, just do it, you know, make the decision. And that's what he did. He said he just made the decision. He says, I'm not playing the game. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to build our own home. And he did. So, awesome. Kudos to that man. May there be millions and millions and more like him, because we do have the capability to build our own homes. This is something that everybody can do. All right? So, that sounds pretty ugly out there. I think I'm going to go check on it. We have a fight with the powers that be going on out there, and the dog is the powers that be. And it sounds like he's getting pretty ornery with the goats. So, anyway, battles going on, opposition, deal with it, come out on the top side by building your own home, or having someone build it that's capable of doing it. And that's what I want to see, is a lot of people working with Aircrete. Mark pointed out that this technology, like I said, has been used in other countries worldwide. Like most of the homes, and many homes in Thailand and distant places, are built with concrete and Aircrete, and they would scratch their heads and wonder why in the world Americans build with wood. Wood is susceptible to destruction by fire, hurricane, tornado, etc., earthquake, and domes are not, and Aircrete is not. So let's make a difference in our lives and other people's lives by determining to make a difference, to think differently. And if you have not done so, please get a hold of Beyond Off Grid, order that DVD, and watch it, because it is about thinking differently and getting out of the controlling system of the powers that be by doing things for yourselves. That is where we need to be. We need to be dealing with providing our own water, and providing our own food, and providing our own housing. With food and raiment therewith be content, and raiment is cover, it's protection from the elements, and that can be your clothing. The Inuit Indians live in their homes, basically. They have clothing that's capable of shielding them from the elements. They basically walk around in a turtle shell, as it were. You know, they have one set of caribou hides with the fur turned in. With the fur turned in. And then another one with the fur turned out. So they're basically, their underwear is the fur turned in, and the outerwear is the fur turned out, their coats. So they're insulated, heavily insulated, waterproof. And anyway, basically that's shelter to them. Of course, an igloo is added shelter. So idea being is develop your own housing, make your own housing, buy your own housing cheap enough that you can pay it off within a few years, year or two, 5 at the outside. Okay? So, a couple little rants there on a couple topics, but that's what we want to see, make a difference. So, thank you. God bless. Yahweh bless everyone that's listening to this. This is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant.